Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be reviewing some of the information that is out there on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers minicamp day 1, or I guess I should say rookie minicamp day 1, as, on May 14th, Friday, was the first day of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp, okay? I think I've said that enough times, but the point is that, we're doing a video today with information from our folks over at pewterreport.com. Again, I will have the link to the website as well as their YouTube channel down in the pinned comment in the comment section below, so go subscribe to them. Let's try and get them up to 5,000 subscribers, but this article was written by our friend Taylor Jenkins, and it says, Bucs rookie minicamp report 514, Trask up and down in first practice. And I will say, guys, there isn't, a ton of information out there, obviously, with the guidelines and whatnot, with the, the illness and everything. It's tough for some of these guys to get information on every single guy that is doing work out there, but Taylor did a wonderful job writing this article and getting as much information packed in there as he could. And really, based on the other research that I've done on other people who were there, it seems like, a lot of people are writing, similar stuff, which is talking a lot about the draft picks right now. So I was kind of interested in seeing what was going on with potential undrafted guys, but we don't get that information yet. We might get that tomorrow during Saturday's practice. But let's go ahead and dive into some of this. This talks about some of the highlights from the day. First one, first round pick Joe Tryon held out. We had already talked about that literally in just the last video. He had a minor procedure done, a knee scope, and he should be back by at least June 7th to June 9th for the start of mandatory minicamp, but we already talked about that, so we are going to skip that part of this article. Quarterback Kyle Trask, far from perfect in his first practice. Let's dive into this a little bit. With only 5 tryout players permitted to participate in rookie minicamps, a roster that often creeps over 50 players has been limited to just 26 this year for Tampa Bay. With such a comparatively small number of bodies at practice, this leaves some position groups thin. That would include the quarterback position for the Bucs, where second-round pick Kyle Trask was the lone signal caller on the field for Tampa Bay. After position-specific drills finished up, the Bucs moved on to a few very simple 7-on-7 and team drills. When throwing against a live defense, Trask had some nice completions and targeted his fellow draft pick Jaelon Darden often. By the way, we had already talked about that in a previous video where, we were very excited. I was very excited to see the Kyle Trask and Jaelon Darden connection. We're already seeing that literally in their first practice together, so that is a very good thing. On the flip side, Trask also had his fair share of struggles on the first day of practice. The 23-year-old rookie watched a number of passes sail too high for his intended receivers and even had one pass intercepted by former Navy defensive back Cameron Kinley. So first things first, shout out to Cameron Kinley. That's a big opportunity for him to get an interception like that. So Cameron Kinley, good job on that. And we will talk about Trask here in a minute. But when asked about Trask's performance after practice, Arians had nothing but praise for his newest quarterback. He grasped the offense very well, Arians said. He was throwing the ball where it was supposed to go, had a couple of drops on him, but I thought he looked really good. And then we'll talk about some other stuff here in a minute, but let's pause and talk about Kyle Trask. So seemingly an up and down first day of practice. By the way, first day of practice ever as an NFL player. So let's all remember that before we cast judgment, throw stones here, right? This is Kyle Trask's first ever professional NFL player practice, and he's working with a very, very limited group of guys. As you guys, heard earlier in the article, this roster is usually 50, 60 guys. Now it's only 26. There ain't a lot to work with there, but Kyle Trask, still had some good throws, definitely had some good completions. I even saw, Rick Stroud talking about how he thought that Kyle Trask had a pretty darn good first day of practice, but again, as Taylor Jenkins said, couple of overthrows, even an interception by Cameron Kinley. I think Kyle Trask is going to be okay. Let's not overreact to one day of practice. There was some good, there was some not good as well, some bad, let's say. And overall, I think Trask is going to be fine. But overall, Bruce Arians was impressed with him as well, which I think speaks a lot, right? Bruce Arians thought he did a very good job, and I'll take Bruce Arians' words for it. So let's keep on going. Inside linebacker Grant Stewart already leading the defense. Now, I talked about this, just pause again. I've talked about this already on a previous video, but inside linebacker Grant Stewart, which leads me to believe that they may just have him as a linebacker purely and not have him be a linebacker and a safety hybrid, not play him at safety, just put him at linebacker, which is very interesting to me. But as the media is limited to watching the Bucs practice from one limited location behind the end zone on the far side of the field, it's not always easy to pick up what players are saying or even shouting as they move between drills. That's very important, by the way, as it's tough for some of these media guys to pick up what every single player is doing because sometimes it can be very difficult for them to get a good viewpoint, a good vantage point, if you will. This wasn't the case for Tampa Bay's 7th round pick, Grant Stewart, as the defense was leaving their positional drills and heading over to meet the offense for the team's 7-on-7 period. Stewart was the first player off of that field and could be heard rallying the defensive side of the ball over. It may seem like something small in the grand scheme, but for a day 3 pick who was praised by general manager Jason Light for his energy, passion, and big heart, it was a major step towards proving that evaluation right at the next level. So yeah, again, there's a couple of interesting things to note. Like I said a second ago, linebacker, inside linebacker Grant Stewart, not linebacker slash safety Grant Stewart, not safety Grant Stewart, linebacker Grant Stewart. Interesting to get that, I guess perspective there, get that, what's the word? Get that news, if you will, of Grant Stewart potentially being a full-time linebacker. But secondly, Grant Stewart, Mr. Irrelevant, is already getting into these rookie minicamps and saying, hey guys, I'm going to rally you, I'm going to lead you, let's freaking go. I like to see that from a 7th round draft pick, period, let alone Mr. Irrelevant, which is a thing that, geez, what's the word? It's a thing that happens to guys, right? Where, they get a nickname and it's tough for them to shake off that nickname and, people just think it's funny, right? Oh, yeah, that guy's Mr. Irrelevant. But Grant Stewart definitely seems like he is, kind of shaking that stigma of a Mr. Irrelevant. He's trying to be a leader. He's trying to be a guy very, very early on in his first practice, man. And that's a great thing to keep an eye on. So, yeah, very exciting. Wide receiver Darden catching punts, getting plenty of looks. Though Darden was just one of 2 receivers at rookie minicamp, the other one being TJ Simmons, by the way, and Amara Darboh? I'm a little confused here. I thought there was a couple more than just 2 wide receivers. That's interesting, but he hit it off well with Trask during passing drills. But before that, Darden opened up practice catching punts while the Bucs worked on special teams. He looked very comfortable in that role as the coaches got their first look at the potential starting returner. With his amount of speed, Darden gives himself a chance to winning the role. He looked really clean catching every single punt, Bruce Arians said, and he looks really, really explosive as a receiver. When it came to the passing drills against the defense, Darden was able to get himself space due to his speed and found a connection with Trask. He was getting open on both sides of the field, catching the attention of the coaches because of it. Since he took every single rep on the field, he was gassed by the end of it. I thought he looked really, really good until he got really tired, Arians said. He took every single rep, which is a big deal, by the way, considering, this is NFL level, this is an NFL level practice. That's a big deal. But a couple of things to note here, right? Number one, Jaelon Darden, he's being used as a returner. We all thought that was going to happen, and it seems like he's already getting off to a very good start in terms of cleanly fielding punts and showing what he can do as a returner and, not making mental mistakes, not making, small errors, things along those lines. Number two, he's a beast of a receiver. A lot of people thought that as well. Number three, he's already building a connection with Kyle Trask. A lot of people wanted to see that, your boy included, and it's nice to see Trask and Jaelon Darden already getting off on the right foot in terms of finding that connection. Now, that is interesting that there were only 2 wide receivers, because I can think of at least 3, Jaelon Darden, TJ Simmons, and Amara Darboh, so that's interesting. I don't really know what's going on there. There may have been 3 receivers. There may have only been 2. If so, I don't know who those 2 were, but still, it's very interesting to see that. But the Trask and Darden connection is already forming beautifully. I can't wait to see that continue to grow and develop throughout the remainder of this offseason, throughout the remainder of this mini camp, and going into mandatory mini camp, OTAs. Preseason is going to be an absolute blast watching these 2, and that is some very, very good developments there for a wide receiver that a lot of people are excited about, and yeah, overall good stuff there. The other thing, Hainsey working at center, we all knew this, and yeah, overall, the guys, that was the last snippet there from Taylor Jenkins. Again, thank you to Taylor Jenkins for all the updates of day one of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie minicamp. But what can we gather from this? Well, a lot of this information was about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers draft picks, besides Cameron Kinley getting that interception on Kyle Trask. Again, congratulations to Cameron Kinley there, but Kyle Trask, while he did have an up and down first practice, it seems like he is forming a repertoire, if you will, a rapport with Jaelon Darden, which is a good thing to see. Jaelon Darden looks exactly as advertised. Great returner, great, speedy, shifty, small wide receiver. We all knew that that was coming. And then Grant Stewart, being that leader, being that, linebacker, which is interesting to get that distinction there. And rallying this young group of rookie defenders is another very interesting thing to see. So overall, guys, I think that sounds like a pretty good day one of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rookie mini camp. It seems like all the draft picks did some good work. Even Cameron Kinley got some work in there as well. And overall, I'm excited to see what guys maybe kind of pop up in terms of day two, in terms of information as to guys who are progressing and doing some good things. I want to see a little bit more info on some of these undrafted guys. Sam Renner, Calvin Ashley, TJ Simmons, among other guys who, I'm just very interested in hearing about point blank. I want to see these guys succeed and do some good stuff, and hopefully we can get more information about them as the days go on. But anyway, guys, what do you think about all this information? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. What do you think about Kyle Trask and his first day of practice? Again, keep that in mind. What do you think about Jaelon Darden and how he is doing? What do you think about Grant Stewart already forming a young kind of leadership here with these rookies in day one of practice? It seems like all the draft picks are putting in some good work. Even Robert Hainsey in that article talked about how he played center. He feels good at center. He's comfortable at center. We've already talked about that in a previous video, but still, it seems like the draft picks are putting in some good work, and Joe Tryon will be back soon as well, just to add a little bit more to that. So, anyway, guys, leave me your thoughts down in the comments section below. Hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.